What if the one thing you trust every single day is quietly stealing your peace? Not your job, not your responsibilities, not even the people around you. The real thief may be sitting in your pocket right now. Your phone! Think about it. How many times have you unlocked it today without even knowing why? How many moments of silence have disappeared into endless scrolling? How many beautiful mornings have started with someone else's life instead of your own? We live in a world where almost every free second is filled with a screen. We scroll while eating, while walking, while waiting, and sometimes even while talking to the people we love. We believe we are staying connected, yet many of us have never felt more disconnected from ourselves. Today, I want to invite you into a different kind of journey. Imagine living for 30 days without letting your phone control your attention. Not because technology is evil, but because your mind deserves a chance to breathe again. This is not about throwing your phone away or escaping modern life. It is about discovering what happens when you become the master of your attention instead of its prisoner. Stay with me until the end, because what begins as a simple challenge may completely change the way you see your mind, your habits, and your life. Before we begin, I want you to ask yourself one honest question. When was the last time you sat alone in complete silence for just 10 minutes without reaching for your phone? For many people, that question is surprisingly difficult to answer. Silence has become uncomfortable because distraction has become normal. The moment we feel bored, lonely, uncertain, or anxious, we reach for the screen. We are not searching for information. We are searching for escape. Every notification promises something new, yet most of the time it leaves us feeling emptier than before. The more we consume, the less satisfied we become. This is not because there is something wrong with us. It is because our minds were never designed to receive endless stimulation every waking hour. Long before smartphones existed, monks understood something that modern science is only beginning to explain in greater detail. Wherever attention goes, your life follows. If your attention is constantly pulled in every direction, your thoughts become scattered. Your emotions become restless. Your energy becomes exhausted. But when your attention becomes calm, your entire inner world begins to settle. Monks did not practice silence because they hated the world. They practiced silence because they understood that clarity can only grow where there is space. Imagine trying to see your reflection in a lake while someone keeps throwing stones into the water. No matter how beautiful the reflection is, the surface will remain disturbed. Your mind works the same way. Every unnecessary distraction is another stone. Every meaningless scroll creates another ripple. The problem is not the water. The problem is that it never gets a chance to become still. Now imagine waking up tomorrow and making one simple decision. Before touching your phone, you take a slow breath. You sit quietly for just 5 minutes. You notice the sounds around you, the air moving in and out of your lungs, the feeling of your feet touching the floor. At first, your mind begins to race. It reminds you of messages waiting to be answered, videos waiting to be watched, news waiting to be checked. You feel an almost automatic urge to reach for your phone. This moment is important because for the first time, you are not following the habit. You are observing it. That single shift changes everything. You begin to realize that the urge is not you. It is simply a habit asking to be repeated. The first day of the challenge is rarely dramatic. There is no magical transformation. There is no sudden enlightenment. Instead, something much more valuable begins to happen. Awareness. You notice how often your hand reaches toward your pocket without thinking. You unlock your phone and forget why you opened it. You close it only to repeat the same action a few minutes later. Suddenly, you see the invisible patterns that have been controlling your day. Awareness can feel uncomfortable because it reveals habits we never wanted to notice. But awareness is also the beginning of freedom. You cannot change what you refuse to see. Many monks compare awareness to lighting a candle inside a dark room. The darkness does not disappear because you fought it. It disappears because you finally brought light into the room. Every time you notice yourself reaching for your phone without purpose, another candle is lit. Every moment of awareness weakens the old habit and strengthens a new one. This challenge is not about being perfect. It is about becoming conscious. There will be moments when you forget. Moments when you spend 20 minutes scrolling without realizing it. Do not judge yourself. Simply notice it. Smile gently, put the phone down, and begin again. Growth has never been about perfection. It has always been about returning. As the first few days pass, something unexpected begins to happen. time starts to feel different. Minutes become longer. Conversations become deeper. Food tastes richer. Walks become more peaceful. You begin noticing little details that were always there but hidden beneath constant distraction. The sound of birds in the morning. The warmth of sunlight on your face. The gentle movement of leaves in the wind. These things did not suddenly appear. They were waiting for your attention all along. One afternoon, instead of reaching for your phone during a quiet moment, imagine taking a notebook and writing down whatever is on your mind. At first, the page feels empty. Then one sentence appears. Then another. Slowly, thoughts that were buried beneath endless scrolling begin to rise to the surface. Worries you never acknowledged. Dreams you forgot you had. Questions you never allowed yourself to ask. This is one of the greatest gifts of silence. It does not give you new thoughts. It gives your existing thoughts enough room to finally speak. The modern world teaches us that productivity means doing more. Monks quietly remind us that wisdom often begins by doing less. Less noise, less rushing, less reacting, less comparison. Every unnecessary distraction you remove creates space for something meaningful to grow. Peace does not arrive because life becomes perfect. Peace arrives because your attention learns where to rest. Close your eyes for a moment if you can. Take one slow breath in through your nose and gently exhale. Imagine placing your phone on a table across the room. You can still see it, but you choose not to reach for it. Notice the feeling inside your body. Maybe there is restlessness, maybe curiosity, maybe even anxiety. Do not push those feelings away. Simply watch them. Like clouds moving across the sky, they appear, they change, and eventually they pass. This simple exercise teaches one of the most powerful lessons a monk can learn. You are not your impulses. You are the awareness that notices them. If this challenge feels difficult already, that does not mean you are failing. It means you are beginning to wake up. Every meaningful transformation starts with discomfort. A seed must break before it becomes a tree. A caterpillar must disappear before a butterfly can emerge. In the same way, your old habits must loosen their grip before a calmer, clearer version of yourself can grow. The first week is not about removing your phone from your life. It is about removing its control over your mind. That is a very different journey, and it may become one of the most important journeys you ever take. Before we continue this 30-day path together, I want you to make one small promise to yourself. For the next 24 hours, choose one moment that belongs only to you. No phone, no scrolling, no notifications. Just 10 quiet minutes of breathing, observing, and simply being present. Then come back and tell me how it felt. In the comments, write these simple words. My mind is stronger than my habits. Those words are not magic. They are a reminder that every great change begins with one conscious decision. And today, that decision is yours. Part 2. The second week begins quietly, but something inside you is already changing. You may not notice it immediately because real transformation rarely announces itself. It grows in silence, just like a tree pushes its roots deeper before anyone sees new branches. During the first few days, your greatest challenge was resisting the urge to check your phone. Now the challenge becomes something deeper. You begin to notice why you wanted to check it in the first place. Every habit has a hidden trigger. Sometimes it is boredom. Sometimes loneliness, sometimes stress, sometimes the simple desire to avoid uncomfortable emotions. The phone was never the real problem. It was only the fastest escape. The moment life became difficult, the screen offered an easy distraction. But now, without constantly running away, you begin meeting yourself for the first time in a long time. Imagine sitting alone with a cup of tea as the morning sun slowly rises. Normally, your attention would already be scattered across messages, social media, headlines, and endless updates. Today, there is only the gentle sound of birds, the warmth of the cup in your hands, and the steady rhythm of your breathing. At first, it feels unfamiliar. Then it begins to feel peaceful. Finally, it starts to feel natural. You realize something surprising. Peace was never missing from your life. Your attention was, a monk once said that the mind is like a wild horse. If you try to force it, it becomes even more restless. But if you patiently guide it every single day, eventually it walks beside you without resistance. Your mind works the same way. Every time you choose presence over distraction, you are gently training that wild horse. Some days By the time you reach the third week, something remarkable begins to happen. The silence that once felt uncomfortable now starts to feel like home. You no longer reach for your phone every few minutes without thinking. The habit has not completely disappeared, but it has lost much of its power. For the first time in years, you are beginning to experience what it feels like to truly own your attention instead of renting it out to the world. This is where many people make an unexpected discovery. They realize they never had a phone problem. They had an attention problem. The phone was simply the loudest distraction. Once that distraction becomes quieter, other habits begin to reveal themselves. Constant worrying, comparing yourself to others, living in the future instead of the present, seeking approval instead of inner peace. One by one, these hidden patterns step into the light. A wise monk once compared the human mind to a dusty mirror. Every day the dust settles a little more. Endless thoughts, fears, distractions, and desires slowly cover the surface until we forget the mirror was ever clear. We spend years trying to fix the reflection without realizing that all we need to do is gently wipe away the dust. Your 30-day journey has never been about changing who you are. It has always been about uncovering the person who was there before the noise took over. Think back to the first day of this challenge. Remember how difficult it felt to spend even a few quiet moments without reaching for your phone. Compare that version of yourself to who you are becoming today. You breathe more slowly. You listen more carefully. You notice details that once escaped your attention. You are discovering that happiness is often found in ordinary moments that distraction once stole from you. Imagine walking through a forest just after sunrise. There is no music playing in your ears, no screen glowing in your hands. You hear leaves moving gently in the breeze, birds calling to one another, the distant sound of flowing water. With every step, your breathing becomes deeper, your shoulders relax, your thoughts become lighter. Nature has not performed a miracle. It has simply reminded your nervous system what peace feels like. Modern life often teaches us that every empty moment should be filled. Fill the silence with music. Fill the waiting with scrolling. Fill boredom with entertainment. But monks have always understood a different truth. Empty space is not something to fear. It is where wisdom grows. A field cannot produce a healthy harvest if it is never allowed to rest. Your mind is no different. Rest is not laziness. Rest is preparation. Perhaps one of the greatest gifts of this challenge is that you begin to reconnect with people in a completely different way. Conversations become richer because you are fully present. Instead of glancing at a screen every few minutes, you look into someone's eyes. You hear not only their words, but also their emotions. You realize that genuine connection has nothing to do with stronger Wi-Fi. It has everything to do with stronger attention. There may still be difficult days. There may be evenings when stress whispers that one more hour of mindless scrolling will make everything feel better. But now you recognize that voice. You smile gently because you know it is only an old habit asking to return. Instead of obeying it, you take a deep breath. You step outside. You stretch your body. You watch the evening sky slowly change color. Within minutes, the urge begins to fade. You have learned something powerful. Every craving has a beginning, a middle, and an end. You do not have to follow every impulse simply because it appears. Close your eyes for a moment and picture yourself standing on top of a quiet mountain. The wind moves gently across your face. Below you, the world is busy. Cars move quickly. People rush from one place to another. Notifications continue to appear on millions of screens. Yet where you are standing, there is only calm. That mountain has always existed inside you. It was simply hidden beneath constant mental noise. Every day you choose awareness over distraction. You climb a little higher until the noise below no longer controls your inner world. Take a slow breath in and breathe out gently. Repeat these words silently or aloud. My attention is my greatest treasure. I protect it with wisdom. I spend it with intention. I choose what deserves my energy. I release what steals my peace. Every quiet moment makes me stronger. As the final days of this journey begin to approach, you may notice something unexpected. You no longer feel that you are giving something up. Instead, you feel that you are gaining something far more valuable. Time, clarity, presence, gratitude. These are treasures no notification can ever provide. Tonight, before you go to sleep, spend a few moments reflecting on one simple question. If your attention creates your life, where do you want to place it from this day forward? Let that question stay with you. You do not need to answer it immediately. Sometimes the deepest answers arrive only after the mind becomes quiet enough to hear them. If you have made it this far, take a moment to celebrate your progress. Not because you completed a perfect challenge, but because you chose to become more awake than you were yesterday. Growth is not measured by perfection. It is measured by awareness. And awareness is exactly what you have been building, one conscious moment at a time. In the comments, write these words: I choose a peaceful mind. Read the affirmations others have shared as well. You may discover that you are not walking this path alone. In the final part of this journey, we will explore what happens after the 30 days are over and how these simple changes can become a lifelong way of living with greater peace, purpose, and freedom. The 30th day arrives more quietly than you expected. There are no fireworks, no dramatic moment where the world suddenly looks different. Yet something has changed, and you can feel it. The person who began this journey 30 days ago is not the same person sitting here now. The difference is not found in your phone. It is found in your mind. You no longer wake up with the same urgency to check notifications. You no longer believe that every vibration deserves your attention. You have discovered something many people spend their entire lives searching for. Your peace was never hiding inside a screen. It was waiting behind it. This is the lesson the monks have always tried to teach. Freedom is not found by escaping the world. Freedom is found by changing your relationship with it. You can still use technology. You can still answer messages, enjoy photos, learn new skills, and stay connected with the people you love. The difference is that now you choose when to use it. It no longer chooses for you. Imagine carrying this awareness into every area of your life. Imagine eating every meal without distraction. Imagine giving your full attention to the people sitting across from you. Imagine finishing books that have been waiting on your shelf for years. Imagine taking long walks without headphones, allowing your thoughts to settle naturally. Imagine ending each evening with gratitude instead of endless scrolling. These are not impossible dreams. They are small daily choices that slowly shape an extraordinary life. Many people believe that happiness comes from adding more. More money, more success, more possessions, more entertainment. But after these 30 days, you begin to understand another truth. Sometimes happiness comes from removing what never belonged in your life to begin with. Less noise, less comparison, less hurry, less unconscious living. In that empty space, something beautiful begins to grow. One day, someone may ask you what changed. They might expect you to talk about productivity or focus. Those things matter, but they are only part of the story. The greatest change is invisible. You are no longer afraid of silence. You no longer feel the need to escape every uncomfortable emotion. You have learned to sit with yourself, breathe through uncertainty, and trust that every feeling eventually passes. That quiet confidence cannot be downloaded. It can only be practiced. Think of a bamboo tree. For years after it is planted, almost nothing appears above the ground. Many people assume nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, its roots are growing stronger every single day. Then one season arrives, and the tree rises with incredible speed. Your inner growth works the same way. Every mindful breath, every moment of presence, every decision to put the phone down has been strengthening roots that others cannot see. One day, those roots will support a life filled with calm, purpose, and resilience. As this journey comes to an end, remember that the challenge was never really about 30 days. It was about proving to yourself that change is possible. Once you have experienced the peace of a quieter mind, you never forget it. There will still be difficult days. There will still be moments when old habits try to return. But now you know the way back. One deep breath, one mindful pause, one conscious choice at a time. Close your eyes one final time. Take a slow breath in through your nose. Hold it gently for a moment. Now breathe out slowly, releasing any tension you have been carrying. Imagine standing at the entrance of a peaceful monastery high in the mountains. The morning sun warms your face. A gentle breeze moves through the trees. Everything around you is still. Then you realize something profound. That peace is not coming from the monastery. It is coming from within you. It has been there all along, waiting for your attention. Now repeat these words slowly, allowing them to become a promise you make to yourself. I choose awareness over distraction. I choose presence over endless scrolling. I choose peace over constant noise. I prot.